Every year, I aim to do one tough thing for people in tough places. This year, that takes place at the Grand Canyon, where my friend Jake Smith and I are going to attempt to run there and back again. A journey from the South Rim across the Grand Canyon to the North Rim and then back all in one day. We started with a descent down the South Kaibab Trail where we expected to make pretty good pace since we'd be running downhill for 7 miles. But very quickly, the combination of darkness and the difficulty of the terrain slowed our pace more than we expected. Though both difficult and dark, we were still able to see some pretty amazing pieces of God's creation. Walking through tunnels and crossing over bridges, hearing the water below us were all things that kept reminding us of His beauty even in the darkness. As we hit the path across the Grand Canyon and the sun came up, we were able to see our footing more clearly and therefore run a little more quickly. We were also able to keep our mind focused on the creek crossings and the hills and the beauty of what was around us in a way that left us fairly unaware of any niggles in our body. We know those would come, but for the moment, it was just a pure, joyous adventure.
Well, we're making our way up, and it's a whole lot of up, and so hard and challenging. I had a significant calf cramp on the way, so I got a salt pill now, thanks to Jake over here, and was able to get that at least sorted out for a little bit. We hope that doesn't return. We've got a couple miles still, 2.5, 3 miles or so towards the top of the North Rim, and then we get to head back.
It felt like no small thing to make it up the top of the north side. Without Jake, I'm confident I would have considered that the end of the journey and paid for a 4-hour Uber back to the hotel. But the reality is that's only the beginning, and it's the hard part. That happens to girls in Nepal all the time. They get taken somewhere they didn't want to go and often have to remain there. And the hope is that we could bring them back again. And so, with the hope of a second wind, we started to make our journey back as well. Experiencing a second wind and downhill terrain, we got to return to enjoying some of the sights around us and seeing some of the wildlife that we got up close to on the way home as well. As we cross the Colorado River one last time, we have 9 miles of uphill climbing in front of us. It sounds daunting given the way my body reacted going uphill on the other side, and yet there's a motivation to get to the top. Not just to be done, though that is a pretty significant motivation, but to help girls, to know what they go through and to know that somehow this matters. And I can say that because they've told me. I've sat with Hannah, a rescued girl in Nepal, who has told me that the generosity of people supporting adventures like this has gotten the funding where it needs to go, and that girls have been freed, and that lives have been changed. And because we want more girls to be free, we'll push on uphill, and we'll push on into the darkness. We'll bring whatever light we need to and whatever effort we can to make our way to the top physically, but more importantly, to get girls home.
Well, we're still climbing out. We're at the 3-mile house, which means we're 3 miles away from the top. We'll finish. There's no option but to do that now. It's just a matter of how long and how hard the work will be, but looking forward to being done. Looking forward to how it can help girls. Looking forward to celebrating.
I think about a lot as it's nearing the end, about the people who have supported you getting ready for this, the people that are sitting literally alongside you and running alongside you during this, the people that have been praying for you throughout. You think about the girls you're hoping to rescue. You don't even know their names. You'll likely never meet most of them, but there's this call to help, to be a force for good, to sacrifice in semi-meaningful ways, and to convince others to sacrifice in generous ways so that lives can be changed. You think about how it lasts less than a day, but that it could change not just lives, but eternities for people. and you keep pushing to the end.
Well, we are here. This is the sign we've been waiting to see. The top, where we've longed to be.
And then it's done. A couple of hugs, some chocolate milk, a sandwich, and a shower. And the day's done. But the mission isn't. There's more girls to rescue. There's more tough places. So we'll keep doing more tough things.